Okay, the time is 7:02. We're just starting 2 minutes late. Sorry about that. Just getting some paperwork in order here. So this is Nipigon Township of Nipigon Council meeting for Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. And we are located here at the municipal office at 52 Front Street. We're going to start with our land acknowledgement as always. In the spirit of reconciliation, the Corporation of the Township of Nipigon respectfully acknowledges it is located on the traditional lands of the Red Rock Indian Band, signatory to the Robinson Superior Treaty of 1850, and the township further respectfully acknowledges the historic presence of other signatories on these lands. Okay, are there any addendum to the agenda? Okay, seeing none. Any disclosures of pecuniary interest? You have one, okay, and she has to state what item it's for, right?
6A, zoning bylaw amendment, reshipping containers.
Okay, so you're gonna step out for that discussion. All right, seeing no more disclosures of pecuniary interest, we'll move on to item number 3, which is the official appointment of our 2 student counselors. And they're gonna be sworn in just like counselors and mayor would normally be as well. So welcome Peyton Dumont Saunders and Sasha Barber, our 2 student counselors, term starting today. And Sasha started last council meeting, and then it's going to be until our final council meeting in June. If you if you last that long, no, I'm just kidding. I'm sure you will. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off. If you guys can, who's gonna start? Peyton or Sasha? Peyton, is the brave one gonna start off? Okay, Peyton, can you go ahead and say your oath, please? Nice and loud so everyone can hear you.
I, Peyton Dumont Saunders, have been elected to the office of student counselor in the township of Nipigon. Do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of knowledge and ability, and do my best to represent the youth of general population of Nipigon. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the township code of conduct and applicable student council policy. I will do my best to be respectful to staff, council, and members of the public. And I make this solemn promise and declaration believing to be true and knowing that it's the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Okay, thank you. Sasha?
I, Sasha Barber, having been elected to the office of student counselor in the township of Nipigon, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truthfully, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of knowledge and ability, and do my best to represent the youth and general population of Nipigon. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with township code of conduct and applicable student councilor policy. I will do my best to be respectful to staff, council, and members of the public, and I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome aboard.
And you can go ahead and sign where you're supposed to sign there, and then we'll, is there a place for me to sign on those? Or
I don't have the signature.
just for you? Okay. So, and then we'll collect that paper afterwards, okay, girls? Thank you very much. We appreciate your input and we look forward to working with you.
Can I take a picture?
Yes, just remind me, okay? Okay. Okay. Scribbles are fine.
Scribbles are the best signature.
Okay, thank you, girls. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next item, which is number 4, approval of previous council minutes from October 7th, 2025. Are there any issues, additions, or deletions, anything? Okay, so we have a motion for a resolution for that. Who would like to move this one? Oh, and Counselor Harper wasn't there, so. One of you guys will have to second, okay? All right, so this is resolution 2025-235, moved by Counselor Hart, seconded by Counselor Cartwright. Be it resolved that this council approves the regular meetings of October 7th, 2025 as presented. All in favor? Opposed and carried. Okay, next we have Public Works. So we have Taylor's report for October 20th, 2025. So it's report 2025-10-2101. And we have Taylor tuning in for us so that she can present her report. Can
Hey
you hear us?
guys,
Here we go, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
perfect. So again, I'll kind of run through all the items first and then I'll provide my recommendation at the end. So the first one is the landfill policy. So the township's landfill policy has been updated to reflect the revised tipping fees and to include information on the new landfill access card system. Additional details have been added regarding the statutory holidays recognized by the township. Staff will also be developing a 2026 garbage collection and landfill schedule to be distributed with the tax bills. This schedule will inform residents of spring and fall hours, landfill closures, or statutory holidays, and any changes to the regular collection dates and the spring fall cleanup timelines. As part of these updates, council direction is requested regarding whether the township will continue to accept non-resident waste beyond December 31st, 2025. It is recommended that continue the acceptance of non-residents waste effective January 1st, 2026 in order to preserve available capacity. The township's landfill continues to experience steady use, and maintaining available capacity is critical to ensuring long-term service to residents. Accepting non-resident waste accelerates the depletion of available space, increases operating costs, and shortens the site's usable lifespan. By limiting disposal to township residents only, the municipality can better manage waste volumes, extend the operational life of the site, and delay the need for costly expansion of the current landfill site. Second is the municipal sidewalk repairs. So 4 small sections of municipal sidewalk have been identified as needing repair. 2 along Front Street, 1 on Bell, and then of course the railway crossing. Given the approaching winter and the risk of poor curing during and damage from freeze-thaw cycles, permanent repairs will be deferred until the spring. Any section that presents a safety hazard will be temporarily addressed to minimize risk to pedestrians until full repairs can be completed. This will also allow us to save on mobilization costs, as we can include the repair work in the 2026 RFP for concrete curb and gutter. Municipal equipment repairs. So the municipal grader required urgent repairs to the service brake lines and batteries and battery terminals. The work was completed promptly to avoid disruption to road maintenance operations. Total cost of repairs was exactly $3,677.85 plus HST. And then additionally, the rear tires on the municipal rubber tire backhoe were replaced due to excessive wear that was impacting safe and efficient operation. The replacement was completed promptly to ensure continued reliability of the equipment, and that total cost was $2,142.65 plus HST. And then the last item here, so staff attended the annual Northwestern Ontario Water and Wastewater Conference on October 16th and 17th, 2025. This event is an opportunity for our operators to exchange ideas and information with water professionals across the region and beyond that allow us to keep our system up to date on continual advancements in the water industry. For the second year in a row, our team brought home first place in the drinking water taste test contest, which secured us a $500 credit to ALS Environmental, who does all of our sampling and testing. I want to thank our operators for their hard work and dedication to providing safe, high-quality drinking water to the community. And then, so lastly, I'll just jump into my recommendations. So my recommendation is that council provide direction regarding whether the township will continue to accept non-resident waste beyond December 31st, 2025.
Okay, does anyone have any questions or comments for Taylor? Maybe we can start with the landfill. The other stuff is mostly updates, right?
Yeah.
Like the reports and everything, so maybe we can.
Yep.
Just look at the landfill, policy, and does anyone have any questions or comments about that? Counselor Cartwright?
Am I reading the Queen's birthday, is that Canada Day? And is Dominion Day civic holiday?
What are you talking about? Sorry.
That holiday.
In the-
code.
Oh, stat holiday, okay.
Easter Monday, the Queen's birthday, I believe. Sorry, and this is everything just from our collective agreement for what dates were closed. I would assume that the Queen's birthday would be May long weekend, May the 24th.
And Dominion Day would be July 1st.
Yeah.
Canada Day.
The fancy day, fancy name for Canada Day, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Okay, so in regards to the landfill, recommendation.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions? Yeah.
I
Councillor
definitely
Carter.
support no non-resident garbage. I think we should really go that way with our dump. It's crazy to try to get a new one, for one thing. And I think it's not fair to the taxpayers subsidizing other people, so.
I would say yes to that too.
Okay, any other comments about that? I just had a couple of questions about that, so I support that recommendation as well. I just had a question about folks that sort of have camps nearby, like at Polly Lake and things like that, that sort of are summer residents, but they live, but they don't live in Nipigon, so they're not, because I know there's some that live in Nipigon that are taxpayers anyway, so they contribute to the landfill, so, but the ones that don't, have we thought about that at all, or is that just getting it too complicated to, because they wouldn't have obviously cards or anything like that? I'm just wondering where they would be able to get rid of their garbage conveniently. I guess they could go to Red Rock to do that, but
To me, a lot of the problem arises when you do something like that, they're gonna start dumping it. Anywhere
Yeah.
they can.
that's, yeah, that was my concern too.
That's my concern.
I would hope that they wouldn't, but then if they don't have a place and they're gonna, well, if they don't go back to Thunder Bay for 2 or 3 weeks, what are they gonna do? Start burning it or throw it in the bush? Yeah.
I guess for me, just the challenge with that is trying to determine how we would track that, you know, they are in fact camp owners in the area and at which lakes. I mean, it's certainly something we could take a look at, and like a clause we could add if you know they provide the property information that they in fact are, you know, owners of a camp. And Lars, I don't know how you feel about that, but it's certainly something I would be happy to look more into. But for me, it's just, yeah, a little bit harder for us to track those individuals.
And of course, they would still pay the.
Yes,
Like
yes.
the fees, they wouldn't be free, but they would just be able to do that, yeah. I don't know if that's something just to take some time to think about, if there's a possibility. If there's not, then there's not, if it's too complicated and too much, it takes too many resources for, I don't know how many people there are that are in that, that either don't live in Nipigon or don't live in Red Rock, because if they're in Red Rock or
Yeah.
starting January 1st, Red Rock Indian Band, they can bring their garbage to Red Rock, right? Because they're tax paying residents.
Yeah,
but-
no. Yeah, I'd be
no.
happy to look at that though some more and
Okay.
see if there's a clause we can add into the policy. For, you know, maybe let's call them not local residents, but
Seasonal.
Yeah.
slow
Yeah.
users.
yeah.
And then the commercial, the other question I had was the commercial, so, is commercial totally different? Like, so if there's, let's say there's a company from Thunder Bay that's renovating a house and they have garbage, are they gonna be allowed, even if they're not a Nipigon based business? Will they be allowed to use the landfill?
My understanding would be as long as the waste is generated within the community, you know, for example, let's say somebody was doing a demo on a house in Nipigon. then of course, you know, we would accept that waste. With obviously the costs associated with that. However, you know, the kind of thing I want to avoid is, you know, say someone's tearing down two houses in another community and they want to put all that waste, like, you know, it's just too much to take from outside of the township limits. So as long as the waste is generated within the township, then it would be accepted.
Okay,
And one more.
and, okay, did you have a?
Yeah, I just say,
Question?
I don't think we should allow the campers to come. They're not taxpayers. Their garbage is in their car. They can just keep on going to wherever they're going and get rid of it then. I don't think we should accept it at all. That's the foot in the door and, you know.
Okay,
That's my,
Councillor Westaver?
I'm just wondering if there's a policy that we could say Red Rock will take it for the fees. Cause it's on their way to Thunder Bay and,
Well, we can't have a policy on for Red Rock.
no, but I'm just wondering if they do have a policy. then
Oh, if they do.
Yeah,
Like if they start to take garbage outside of the town like Red Rock does? Is that what you're asking?
well, yeah, their dump is on 17 on the way to Thunder Bay.
Yeah, so you're asking, it,
Yeah.
will they take outside
Yeah.
garbage? Okay, I don't know, I'm not sure.
Be a good thing to find out and then we could have.
That would be an option then, if
An
that's
option.
something that they're willing to take on, and then that way we're not leaving people hanging. Cause I'm of the, I just wanted to bring it up, but that I'm
Yeah.
of the opinion that it probably is gonna be too much to deal with, to figure out a way to, how do we know if they're, you know, and then they might be Airbnb situation where they're staying there, but they don't own the place and we don't know who they are, or the, you know, the attendant doesn't know who they are, and all that kind of thing. It might get a little bit convoluted, so maybe that's an easier route, is to check if Red
Yeah.
Rock still will take outside garbage for fees. And-
Yeah. And, you know, I could also do a little bit of research as well. Like I know, you know, I'm out Highway 17 towards Scriber. So you know what I mean? I know there's like the Gurney dump for lots of the campers there that use it. So there may be other smaller, you know, sites in the area that we could perhaps get a list together in the policy that, you know, if you're nearby, here's a couple places that do accept that type of waste.
Okay. And then still on the landfill, I was just wondering about the fees. Are these increased from last year, or are they the same as last year?
They should be the updated fees.
Those are the same as what we passed in.
These are the same as
Yeah,
this is for
I-
2026. These are the same as 2025. I just haven't compared. Okay, so they haven't gone up, cause I know we've had some people upset that they went up, and so, which we were okay with. But then if we
Yeah.
were bringing them up again, then that might be, but they haven't gone up from what they currently are on this.
No,
Correct?
no.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, and one more thing.
Yeah.
So the winter hours, we changed on the request of the attendant last, or 2 years ago, I
Yeah.
think, so this is the second season now. So we're still keeping it at for winter closing at 5 Monday and Friday or Monday and Friday. So we're like, we haven't received any other complaints, or maybe people are used to it now, so they've been able to adjust, like we're good with keeping those. hours,
Yeah, I am, only because like with the lack of electrical power out there, you know, keeping the out, like if we were to keep the hours, you know, the same year round, it's just really dark, and you know, even for people going up to dump on the top, you know, it's just kind of a safety risk with no light.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, anything else? So maybe what we can do is, can we maybe,
We can bring this back. I can,
defer?
I can
Yeah,
tweak it some more.
defer
Yep.
to the next one? Okay.
yeah,
And
for sure.
just, yeah, if you can find out about the other places, and I think that we're
Yep.
okay. I think the direction is that there's other alternatives,
Yeah, there's.
like Red Rock and the Gurney one, then I think we're okay with.
Yeah.
With moving forward with this, and then, if not, then we'll go from there, but I'm pretty sure there's alternatives that they can go to, so.
even if there's no alternative, it's not our issue.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't have it in our dump. The M&R can open up their dumps, or the province can open up their own dumps. There was all kinds of them around here and they closed them all. It all ended up in a big dump,
Yeah.
and it impacts us quite a bit.
Especially if we're taking like scrap vehicles.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Well, we can pass this now if you guys want, like, it's up to you.
You don't like
Do you wanna,
vehicles?
I think that, what if we just allowed like non-residents to bring household waste, because that would cover the campers and the people who own camps in the area.
Mm.
But nothing of besides household waste, like not half-ton trucks full of
Yeah.
building materials and fridges and things like that, well, they don't accept fridge.
Evidently
Have-
they do.
Trucks and stuff, like,
Yeah.
what if we only accept household waste from non-residents? That would cover the people
Seasonally,
who- the
yeah.
seasonal campers, the people who live in lakes nearby. Cause I don't think anybody else that's non-resident, I mean, they shouldn't be bringing, even if they own a camp in the area, they shouldn't be allowed to bring an old truck
yeah,
here.
there are loads of stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
They will.
they will.
Yeah, they will if
But they can be
I
turned
think
away
it's a
then.
foot in the door and we shouldn't even allow it here.
So what if we only allow household waste?
I don't want that. Cause it'll be a truck of household waste or something, like it's just,
Well, they
People
still
will
have
do
to
that.
pay for it.
Yeah, they'd have to abide by.
well, yeah, I don't think the money is enough either.
And if you're at camp for a month,
Mhm.
you're gonna have a lot of waste, and if you're not running back and forth, some people even farther from Thunder Bay. They have to do something with their garbage, or it is gonna end up on the road to the dump, like
Yeah.
on the road to Red Rocks dump. We were filming out there one time and
Mhm.
all in the ditches, there's garbage, and I thought, like, why don't people, they can't go that much farther to the dump, and maybe they're not allowed, I don't know.
Well, we're only in October, so maybe we can defer if that's okay, and then we can all sort of
Mhm.
think about it, and Taylor can come back with some additional information or whatever, and then we can go from there. Does that sound okay
Yeah,
with
yeah.
everybody?
Red Rock might take it.
There are tag-based systems for household garbage and stuff like that.
It was my grandmother's land anyway.
And it promotes
Okay.
recycling too.
So everything, how's everything else in the report? Everything else in the report, everyone's okay with? Yeah.
Should be Kingsburg.
Oh, sorry, I have one more thing. I'm sorry. E-waste.
What?
So under the policy here, it's I think it's item number 6. I don't really read Roman numerals well, but e-waste computers, phones will not be accepted at the landfill and can be dropped off at the Nippigan Recycling Depot. So we did do that a couple of years ago with a program. Do we have a program now where they're gonna pick it up? Because it was just kind of all laying there. Or so we're accepting that stuff now
We-
at the recycling depot?
Oh.
Oh, you're frozen.
Um,
We can hear you, your face isn't moving, but go ahead and talk.
There you are.
There you go.
There you are.
no,
No.
you know what, actually, I just got a call today about, the e-waste. Complete.
Oh,
And thing that I will need to revise and needs to be considered in the landfill policy, because we actually don't no longer accept it at the and it's becoming a bit of a problem at the landfill as well, so we need to look at how we're going to handle the e-waste as well. So that's something I can gather some more info on and update the policy with that as well.
Okay. Counselor Cartwright.
The landfill access cards, are they being sent out, or do we have to come in and apply for them?
I have one.
I believe most people have been coming into the office to pick them up. I can see Lars, I don't know if we ever were, I know that we were planning on sending them out, and then there was kind of the strikes and them going to, and I don't.
We could do, like, if people request it, we can mail it. That's an option, like to send it out, but most people have been picking them up coming into the office. We were planning on putting them out with the final tax bills, and then what happened is we didn't get our system in time, so, and to get it rolled out. So by the,
Strike anyway.
well, yeah, and that was in the like early, like or late summer, I guess, so we then sent out the tax bills and then put out the notice, so people could come in and grab them. But if anybody wants them, what we can do is do a request and mail it out. Yeah.
Okay, so what I would suggest that if no one has any other questions is that we receive the report. We'll pass the resolution to receive the report, but defer the landfill policy for next time.
Yeah.
Cause you'll have to
Yep.
put in the e-waste and stuff to like change that.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So I'll just I guess, cross this out and just have it until, for information and cross everything else
Yeah.
out, so we're not, okay. All right, so, we have a resolution. Who wants to move this? Counselor Westaver. Who would like to second? Counselor Hart. So this is resolution 2025-236, moved by Counselor Westaver, seconded by Counselor Hart. Be it resolved that this council receives the PWS report 2025-10-2101 for information. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Okey dokey. Okay, so next. Thank you, Taylor.
Thank you, guys.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, next we have item 6A, which is our zoning bylaw amendment, shipping containers. Is this when you would like to declare your? Okay, thank you very much, and we'll let you know when we're done.
From Bradley.
Okay, this is me doing this process for the first time, so I'm gonna probably need some prodding or some help from Lars here. Okay, so this is our zoning bylaw amendment for shipping containers. So, so I read this script and then if,
And then we go back and forth, yep.
okay, so there was someone in the audience though who was interested in just hearing what the amendments were.
Yep.
Should I read that first before I start the script?
I would read this.
Read the script first, okay. Okay, good evening. This is a public meeting under section 34 of the Planning Act for a township initiated zoning bylaw amendment. The purpose of the proposed zoning amendment is to amend bylaw 1823 and authorize shipping containers in the township of Nipigon in specific residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, and rural zones, with some zones being subject to design requirements, setbacks, and other conditions. It is noted that in order to appeal any decision of council to the Ontario Land Tribunal, the appellant must have outlined comments or concerns at the public meeting or submitted comments and concerns to the township and council in writing. I will now ask the clerk to provide an overview of how notice of this meeting was provided and whether any written submissions have been provided to the township.
Notice of this public meeting was provided in, as circulating notice, to all persons and public bodies as prescribed under 545-06 of the Ontario Planning Act, which is specifically the Ontario regulation. As of 4:30 today, the municipality has received one written submission, from Glennon Herman Clearwater, which was dated October 14th, 2025.
Okay, I will now ask the clerk to provide an overview of this application.
Okay, Mayor and Council, the township is in receipt of a proposed zoning bylaw amendment specifically to amend bylaw 1823. Which is the township zoning bylaw, which was implemented back in 2018. Specifically staff in conjunction with working with Tulloch Engineering is recommending a planning application amendment. To authorize shipping containers in specific zones within the township of Nipigon. Specifically, this would authorize them as accessory structures and fully define them within the zoning bylaw, as a formal amendment. The proposed amendment would authorize, them in the industrial zones, M1, 2, 3, 4, the institutional zone, commercial, C1, 2, 3, and CH, which is, commercial highway. And in the residential zones of R1, RR, and R2, and also the rural U zones. Each of the following zones would have specific parameters outlined within the bylaw. There is a draft bylaw consideration for council to consider, sitting on page 26 of the agenda package. And there, within that document, there are specific outlines of setbacks, requirements for each zone and how they'd be located, what the requirements are for siding, if any, and how many can be authorized on specific properties.
So I will now open the floor to people present who wish to provide submissions with respect to the proposed zoning amendment.
So what are the proposals? Are you gonna charge me a fee?
Okay,
Been there for 40 years.
yeah.
And I've never had a complaint when I put them there. And they all they're in nice shape, they were all brand new when I bought them. That's why I'm curious But we want to do,
Well, we'll tell you why this started, because,
people are putting them in their backyard.
well, in 2018, the prior council actually passed a bylaw to have no sea cans at all on any properties in town, including industrial, including highway. But from what I understand, anyone who had a container prior to that bylaw was okay, which probably would have included you.
Grandpa.
So, when I was elected, someone who had just purchased a property came to me and said, I don't understand why I'm not allowed, because being a new owner, they weren't allowed to put, as a commercial, they weren't allowed to do anything, and that's why this whole process started, because I didn't know about that actually. So it's been a couple of years to be able to get through and do it properly. So, what I will do is just read for you for your information then, if you weren't able to see. Should I just read the summary that's on page 11 then, not instead of the whole, or should I read the whole?
I would say 26.
26 is the best one to read,
Because
okay,
that's the bylaw, like the final.
general provisions,
Yeah.
okay. So shipping containers, zones where permitted, so this would be the amendment, what I'm reading right now.
Okay.
Shipping containers shall be permitted only as accessory buildings or structures, which means people aren't to live, not to use them to live in as a primary. And there's reasons for rules, I guess people have done that.
Yeah.
Not here maybe, but, so shipping containers shall be permitted only as accessory buildings or structures in the following zones, subject to the provisions herein. Industrial zones, institutional, commercial zones, residential zones, and rural zones, which pretty much covers everything, but there's different provisions for each zone, okay, so. General provisions for everybody, shipping containers shall not be used for human habitation. Containers shall not be stacked. All containers shall be maintained in good condition, free from rust, structural damage, graffiti, and shall be kept clean and painted. All containers require a building permit for permanent installation, and shall comply with the Ontario Building Code as applicable. Temporary placement of a shipping container for construction purposes is permitted in any zone for a maximum of 180 days. With an active building permit, extensions may be granted at the discretion of the chief building official, not to be used for habitation, office use, or business operation. Shall not be permitted to be connected to plumbing or HVAC systems, shall not be used to store hazardous or flammable materials unless in compliance with applicable safety regulations. Provisions for industrial and commercial zones. Shipping containers are permitted as accessory structures for storage. Containers shall be located in the rear yard or interior yard, side yard only, and shall not be visible from a public street where feasible. So in your property, you can't be helped but be visible, but it's not like it's right against the road, which is,
Right, even with the rest of the building, they're all lined up.
Yeah. neat and tidy. A minimum lot size of 500 meters squared is required. Minimum setbacks, rear yard setback, 3 meter. Interior side yard setback, 3 meters. Number permitted, 1 shipping container per 500 square meters of lot area to a maximum of 4 per lot.
My lot is up 1.9 acres,
Okay,
so.
We have a comment.
it's a big one, yeah.
Two, my containers
Mhm.
is 4.
There you go. Maximum size, length 12.2 meters, height 2.9. I think they're pretty much all the same size. Where visible from a public street or adjacent residential property, containers must be screened with fencing or landscaping to the satisfaction of the township. No container may be placed within the front yard or within a required parking area. And then there's provisions for residential zones. Same thing, but the rear yard setback is different. I can read this through if anyone's interested, but I don't know if it's just interest to you, the commercial.
At the back of the yard, but that's the only ones that are right up on top of the property.
Okay, and that's commercial again, right? So, yeah.
I was there when the hospital was built, they used to park their equipment in my lot.
Oh, in your lot.
When they were building the hospital.
Oh, okay. So should I read the residential stuff? Just no. Okay, is anyone interested in the residential in the audience?
My letter.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read the residential out loud?
I know mine.
You know?
So I
You're good? Okay.
submitted my report on residential.
Okay. And then there's provisions for downtown commercial. institutional and rural zones. Yeah. Okay, so I'll, if we're okay.
I didn't have a question.
We're allowed to have a
You might
question.
as well just, move the next.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, just a second there. Does any member of the council of the Township of Nipigon have a comment or question regarding the application? Counselor Westhaver?
I just had one if, say, like, for him and maybe others in town that might have one, I've not noticed any eyesores, but, will they be grandfathered if they've been there for 10 years?
So they would be grandfathered in the new system because they were in compliance with the old zoning bylaw when they were placed. We have some aerial imagery that can go back several years too, so we can see when it was placed, if there's ever a discussion or discrepancy. That's the nice thing about Google Earth, you can go back and look at different timeframes. The only time that would come into discussion is if they've removed that specific structure. Or when to change the use of it or change the location of it on the property, because then you're removing the legal nonconformity.
Okay.
Of that structure.
So prior to 2018, prior to that,
Yeah.
the one where it said none are allowed.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, anybody else?
So will I need a permit or anything for the stuff that's there, or I'm fine and I'm good to go?
From what I understand, no.
Because it's already existing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have some other stuff there next time, I'm not gonna get rid of it, I got lots of crap in the back.
Good time to clean house, right? Okay, so there's one more thing here, does any member of the, if there are no further comments, I will read out a draft motion and bylaw for the council to consider. Okay. Who would like to move this resolution? Councilor Westhaver, seconded by, okay, Councilor Harper. So this is resolution 2025-237, moved by Councilor Westhaver, seconded by Councilor Harper. Whereas public notice was provided as per section 34 of the Planning Act to amend the Township of Nipigon zoning bylaw to authorize shipping containers, sea cans in specific zones of the township, with some zones being subject to design requirements and set standards. And whereas the township has hosted a public meeting in conjunction with requirements under the Planning Act, be it resolved that the council of the Township of Nipigon gives 3 readings and approves bylaw 2005, being a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw number 1823 and authorize the use of shipping containers in specific zones subject to provisions under the Planning Act. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Okay,
I'm good to go.
yes, thank you, Mr. Gerlach. You may,
Thanks very much for
you
your
may
time.
take your leave if you
Appreciate
wish.
that.
Yeah,
Very
no
much.
problem.
Okay, see you
Thanks
later.
for coming.
Bye now.
Bye-bye. Okay, yeah, you can go and get Counselor Cartwright.
He's okay, he's got a bunch. Well,
Okay. All right, so we have the CAO's report. And the first thing in the report here is the meeting dates for 2026, the proposed meeting dates. And we have a resolution for that as well. Oh, so that's also included in the report. So we'll go through the report first, I guess. But does anyone have an issue with any of the meeting dates that are listed? Okay. Draft sale of surplus land bylaw. Do you want to talk about this one at all, Lars? Okay,
So this is just an update of our existing bylaw. The last time this was updated was in the mid 2010s. This was consulted with legal as well to make sure that what we're doing is above board and not, I guess, supporting the idea of bonusing with specific corporations or of profitable businesses. It's a general update of our policy and allows to clarify when we will take appraisals and how long they're effective for, and when we don't need an appraisal for, and how we also address landlocked properties. Our previous policy did not really discuss landlocked properties because they're a lot different when you're selling those compared if you're selling something that has road frontage. Other communities, what they've done is when they have a landlocked piece of property, they offer it based on the appraisal to the nearby properties that are abutting it, so they have the ability to use it for their own purpose and then deem it together, so they have one large parcel. It also states in here how we would address parcels that are under $10,000 in appraisal. So then we would be able to waive the requirement for appraisal, so we would actually use the assessment value in that if it's $5,000 or $6,000. And then we would go through and then they would be sold under the same policy here.
Anyone have any questions about that?
I have one question on, for the curling rink, the old curling rink.
Yep.
There's, what's in there? Like,
What's in the building?
yeah, or do we need that, or,
No.
like, I heard there was a bunch of garbage in there, but.
There's some stuff that the township has in there that is equipment, supplies,
Mhm.
that we would remove if we sold the property, that we would take to wherever we needed to go. Yep.
Okay, as long as we got a place to put it, I guess.
Yep.
All right, next we have the October 17th, 2025 Finance and Budget Committee meeting minutes. That was from our recent meeting. So we are looking at, sorry, I moved through here. With all things considered, or most things considered, it's not finalized though, obviously, because it's subject to OPP levy, provincial funding, all that type of thing we're waiting on. But given the current budget deliberation, estimated tax increase required for next year is between 3.6 and 3.9%. And commercial would be 3.2, between 3.2 and 3.3%. And again, this is subject to a few things, which would hopefully bring it down a little bit, but this is what we're looking at, which is not bad. Seeing as the OPP levy is gonna be capped at an 11% increase, when we're used to what, 3-4% usually, so.
Yeah.
Better than it was at 18%, but. Does anyone have any questions? Again, this is just for information, it's just a draft. Nothing's finalized yet,
I
so.
have one,
Yeah, go ahead.
just have a statement, I think we're gonna be one of the lowest. Increase in tax rates there is in this area. So,
Yeah.
can't nobody able to complain, I'm not, and I.
Yeah.
Pay good taxes.
Yeah, administration has been working really hard on trying to get everything in order for that, so. Okay, and then next we have, this is just correspondence from the Ministry of Long-Term Care. After the delegation that I have with them, basically, thanks for coming out. And there's no information or promises of anything, and actually I did receive an update today from the CEO of the hospital. Their plan has been approved by Long-Term Care Ministry, but they're waiting for the Health Ministry to approve some items on there, so they're still in a waiting pattern.
Waiting pattern.
Yeah.
Government slowly.
Yeah. Any questions or anything on that? And then next we have our bylaw to appoint a CEO clerk treasurer, but I think that is that separate or, okay, these are all different. Okay, we have different resolutions for all the stuff within the report. Okay, so is everyone okay with that stuff? So we can start doing do you want us to do you have anything to say before the rest of your report, before we do the resolutions? It's all good? Okay. All right, so we're gonna start with receiving the staff report for information and approving the meeting dates. Who would like to move that resolution? Counselor Harper and seconded by Counselor Hart. Resolution 2025-238, moved by Counselor Harper, seconded by Counselor Hart. Be it resolved that council receives the staff report 2025-10-0702 for information and approves the proposed meeting dates for 2026 as presented. All in favor? Opposed and carried. All right, next we have the bylaw, approving the bylaw to amend the township sale of land policy. Would like to move this one? Counselor Cartwright, seconded by Counselor Westhaver. Resolution 2025-239, moved by Counselor Cartwright, seconded by Counselor Westhaver. Be it resolved that this council gives 3 readings and approves bylaw number 2005, being a bylaw to amend the township of Nipigon sale of land policy. All in favor? Opposed and carried. And then we have, the draft budget, receiving the draft budget and our finance and budget committee meeting minutes for information. Who'd like to move this one? Counselor Hart, seconded by Counselor Cartwright. Resolution 2025-240, moved by Counselor Hart, seconded by Counselor Cartwright. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Nipigon receives the draft finance and budget committee meeting minutes for information. All in favor? Opposed and carried. Okay. All right, next we have appointment of our new chief administrative officer, clerk and treasurer for the Township of Nipigon. Who would like to move this
Nobody.
from our cold dead hands? Counselor Harper. Seconded by Counselor Westhaver. Okay, so this is resolution 2025-241, moved by Counselor Harper, seconded by Counselor Westhaver. Be it resolved that this council gives 3 readings and approves bylaw number 2006, being a bylaw to appoint Timothy Coben as the chief administrative officer, clerk and treasurer for the Township of Nipigon, coming to effect on November 1st, 2025. All in favor? Opposed? And carried? Okay, so, with that, I was going to sort of save this until any other business, but since we're on that already, I just wanted to just let everyone know, that Lars's last official day in the office is October the 31st. He, gave us, his notice about 3 months ago or so. And, we're really gonna miss Lars. He's done a lot in the past 15 months. More than we could have even imagined with policy, bylaws. I mean, just for instance, the house that just went down on Sixth Street, 4th Street. I don't know streets very well. I just know where I'm going. On 4th Street, that was a complex issue that he got solved, in the first year that he was here. And there's a new owner of the property and, that was an eyesore and a safety issue and everything, and that came down this
My
weekend.
pet peeve.
Yeah. So, anyway, HR things, employment agreements, all kinds of incredible stuff. So he set us up for success and we're definitely, excited and comfortable moving forward with, Mr. Coben. But, I think a lot of that is because Lars has set us up for success and many of the policies, bylaws he's put forward in the training and everything he's set our staff up with. So I just want to thank Lars for that, and he is going to continue with us and help us with the transition, even though last day in the office is October 31st. He's gonna be helping with the transition, and just really appreciate your time and effort in the last 15 months. For being here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else have anything to?
Yeah.
Counselor
I
Westhaver?
really appreciate everything you've done. It's amazing, transformation here, in what, 3 years? And, I'm gonna miss you and wish you luck on your new endeavors.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, sundries, 7A, July 3rd, 2025, this, quad council meeting minutes. Does anyone have any questions or anything about that? It's a while back. We're hoping to have the next one, before 2026 rolls around. Hopefully we can get that. It's hard to get people in for meetings once December hits, so we'll see what happens with that, but
And Pride comes in.
yeah. Okay, next we have the Halton Region Correspondence for Public Safety Requirement to protect our communities. So this is, something to be supported if we do so desire. It's for, in regards to, public safety and, all of the bail reform and all that. That's, there's, if anyone wants to read the whole thing, it's in our package. I think everyone's read it. Who would like to move this resolution? Counselor Cartwright, seconded by
I think we've
Counselor.
had like a number of these resolutions.
Westhaver. Yeah, there's been a few. So this is resolution 2025-242, moved by Counselor Cartwright, seconded by Counselor Westhaver. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Nipigon supports the resolution from Halton Region regarding community public safety requirements, and that a copy of this resolution be sent to the region of Halton, the Premier of Ontario, the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Canada, the Minister of Public Safety, and local MPP Patty Hydu. All in favor? Opposed and carried. Okay, and next we have the Thunder Bay DSAB meeting minutes, board meeting minutes.
Actually, Bear had mentioned something.
Yes, go ahead.
They did mention in there that they're looking at a triplex in Nipigon in the minutes, and they did advise that they did approve the Atlas transfer.
Yeah,
No sense of minutes as well.
yeah, I usually just skim the DSAB minutes because they're very general and they're not really involving us at all, but there were actually two items in there as the CEO pointed out.
170 was.
So is that the property that's just up the hill on like at Green Mantle and Wadsworth, and that's where there was a fire years ago? Okay, so they're looking at a triplex, and so is that like a private person looking at putting a triplex up there for a rent geared to income, or is it like DSAB that wants to build it? It's DSAB.
That's my
Okay.
understanding, that's DSAT.
Okay, you know what, that's good, because
Yeah.
every time I walk by there, I wonder what's happening with that, so that's really great that they're on top of it. Cause they own the
Yeah.
property already, and then the other item is, something else that Lars has been working really hard on since he's been here. Is the, signing off of the, 175 Bell Street to Atlas Properties, who's been managing that property since 2018. I think.
Yeah.
It's always been with the understanding, that they were going to, take over that whole building because they did invest money into that building. And that has been sort of the purpose of it overall for the township not to, be paying for any more renovations or dealing with that building. So DSAB has approved, the board has approved for that change of hands to happen. So now hopefully that will allow for Atlas to continue renovating that building.
Right.
That I know that was their plan all along.
I
So
can't remember how many units he put, it was 8,
it's 7.
7. Okay, so now it's not, he doesn't have to scope the not for profit, he can do other units in there,
Right.
rental units that where he can charge, market rent.
Yeah, the ones that were funded, the 4 that were
Yeah.
funded have to remain for an additional, whatever it is, 13 years, rent geared to income. He has to abide by all those rules. But the rest of the building
Yeah,
can be whatever kind of mix that he wants, if they wanna get funding to do more things, like the other foundation in town here, nonprofit wants to do that, or just private, get a mortgage and get some market rent going.
he
So
would still
that's-
need permits, right?
Oh, yeah, building permits and everything, but he's been able to do that because
And what
someone
they're-
doesn't want to renovate a property that they don't.
Don't know, yeah.
So all that's done,
That's
and
good.
congratulations, Lars, because that was another complex
Yeah.
tangle of lights,
Yeah.
Christmas lights to unravel, so thank you.
Like a ball and chain, you're heading.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, any other questions about that one?
Do you know if DSAB is planning on hiring locally to build the triplex on
Oh.
170 Wadsworth? or is
No,
that-
They're still going through the design and budget. They're waiting on a report from the staff to see the feasibility of it, but that's what they reference. We're looking at putting one in if they could.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
So
sure they
they're
have a
already-
procurement process that they have to go through as well,
Yeah.
for value for money and all that
Yep.
kind of thing, yeah. Okay. Next, we have 8A EDO report 2025-10-17-01 Farmers Market. This is something that our student counselors actually have some interest in and some input in. Would you girls, so just to really quickly summarize, for anyone who didn't go through it, it's a proposal to have a farmer's market once a month, one Sunday a month in the Tourist Information Center. That is an idea that was floated at our quad council meeting. And so we were directed, hello, Brianna, and this is Brianna's report, our EDO.
Okay.
So Brianna, we've gone through your reports, and so we're just gonna go around now and see if anyone has any questions or comments. And I'm gonna go to our student counselors first before they fall asleep, so they say their comments. Who would like to start?
I will.
Okay,
We could contact like high schools if we need people to like work there, volunteer hours and stuff like that. And there's a foods class that would probably be able to make like fresh food and sell them.
like baking or bread and stuff like that to
Right.
raise money. I think you had mentioned to raise money for the food program, like the foods program, right?
Breakfast program at schools.
Yeah.
And they need fresh produce too.
Cause we don't have
So
a
they can-
kitchen or anything at school anymore, like at
Okay.
high school.
So you're thinking the fresh produce, if there's produce from farmers there, that the school could purchase some of the fresh produce from the farmers to supply their breakfast program.
Yeah, like the George O has a pretty good breakfast program, but I feel like they struggle
Mhm.
finding. or,
Oh,
like,
so you mean like for not the high school, but for the
Any of the
element,
schools.
any of the schools, elementary
any
schools
of
or
the
whatever?
schools, Elementary. But I know the high school's kitchen is not in operation anymore, so people used to go in there and make lunches. And that's not there anymore, so some people just. That was their only source of food,
Yeah.
like they can't buy things from the store. We don't have a breakfast program really,
Or a cafeteria?
or a cafeteria that sells food, so.
Holy.
Would that be something that you girls would be interested in, is talking to Mrs. Langevin, who teaches the foods class, to see if they wanna be involved at all?
Sure.
Yeah, would that be okay, Brianna? Do you like that idea?
Great
Yeah.
idea.
Okay. And Peyton, did you have anything to add to that?
I think Sasha said it all.
Okay, they did have, I went through the package with them yesterday, they did have actually an idea about maybe approaching, the music program as well at the high school. And seeing if anyone, I know they wouldn't wanna set up a full rock metal band to play in that place. But some of
don't
them
know.
actually play, acoustic and sing, so it might be a way to
Yeah.
attract people out to the, like, parents and stuff who wanna watch or enjoy music and come and see. There were also some concerns you guys had about the signage, right? Or the location. So they were wondering, why the Tourist Information Center? Because I guess wondering who the target is. Is it travelers or is it local people buying? Because if it was travelers, the Tourist Information Center makes sense. But if it's more locals, walkability made more sense, right? You guys were saying that? But. Yeah, do you wanna,
Would there be crafts and stuff, but would it be?
well, that's a question for Brianna, cause
Yeah, oh, she would know that.
she's the one who put the report
okay.
together, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, trying to draw both locals as well as travelers. However, it has been identified as an activity that is very popular and wanted from locals. So I think that the walkability factor is definitely something to consider. The reason why we did identify the Tourist Information Center as the location was trying to repurpose the space right now as we transition to a full reopening. But again, that's not set in stone. We can definitely change the location if it suits the community better somewhere else.
And then we talked about too. That it's a good space to have something inside, cause it's probably gonna be an all-season farmer's market. Right, and places like the Legion aren't always available, the Edge Arts might be a little bit too small. And then if you're getting travelers, which they thought that was a good idea, it'd be important to have signage. When that farmer's market is happening or coming up on Sundays, every Sunday, whatever it is, 12 to 3, right? That the signage was really important. So I don't think you guys were against having it at the Tourist Information Center, you're just wondering about that, cause it would be more attractive to travelers. coming
Mhm.
through, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But if there is signage and they go further into the town, there's a bunch more businesses that they could see in the town. And they'd be like, oh, that's cool, like, let's go check out the museum while we have like all this other produce and stuff that they have.
Yeah.
Or like the place that's gonna be up.
Yep.
And running.
Or there could be some information
Mhm.
at the tourist information center.
About those-
About those
Yeah.
places, right, or a booth or something like a museum booth or something to send people down. Something like that, yeah, it's a good idea.
The museum has pamphlets, like, you know, if it's down at the tourist information, you could bring the pamphlets down there.
Yeah.
And them out. Is it gonna go 12 months a year, or you're gonna have summers
Well,
off?
that's Brianna's,
Yeah.
market, yeah.
Oh, so-
So she just, Counselor Cartwright just asked if it's gonna go 12 months a year.
So I would love to see it run 12 months a year, if we can acquire the vendors to make that happen. And I think that location is something that if we are going to run it 12 months a year, while there might not be indoor locations like, Edge Arts or the Legion, in those times we could run it in the Tourist Information Center and then potentially have something more of like an open air market in the summer, maybe downtown or at the community center. So I would love to see it run 12 months a year. It's just a matter of gathering the community interest and the vendor list for that.
There is lots of space up there too to have an open air one when season provides and that way. I mean, regardless of signage you have, there's stuff's gonna be outside, people are gonna be there, and then the people driving by will stop. And those big like flag signs that you can just buy and like push into the ground whenever they're like farmer's market, right? Those big things are attention getting and they're like quick and easy, and then you take them out when the farmer's market is done, right? Those are
Looking for the
better than
ATO season.
billboards. A lot cheaper. Well.
I was at
Great
one
idea.
down in Midland, it was amazing, all the stuff they had. And actually, a guitar player or two, we could go listen.
There you go.
Yeah, go listen to somebody like that. A good singer.
We used to do one at Lake, at Lake Helen at the center there, the community center, and I don't know why we ever stopped doing it, but it was, we always had a really good turnout.
Yeah.
It was every
And
Sunday,
that's a drive, so yeah.
and people would drive, have to drive to that, so.
I think it would take some time to get it moving, but if it's like consistently every
If it's
month and the
consistent, yeah.
first Sunday or whatever you choose it to be, I think that would,
Yeah. Did a whole Cheyenne.
Yeah. Is everyone, approved, like they're okay with that establishment of that and moving forward with that as a?
As long as there's a commitment to continue it instead of just trying it out and quitting. Like,
Yeah,
do it, set a parameter for a year and go back.
Yeah, see how it goes.
Things take time to get established.
Exactly.
Yeah.
sure. All right, who would like to move this resolution? Counselor Hart, seconded by Counselor Westhaver. Resolution 2025-243, moved by Counselor Hart, seconded by Counselor Westhaver. Be it resolved that the council, the township of Nipigon receives staff report 2025-1017-1 for information, and that council approve the establishment of a Nipigon Farmers Market as a township-led initiative hosted at the Tourist Information Center, operating once per month on Sundays from 12 to 3 p.m. And that staff be directed to prepare an implementation plan, including vendor registration, promotion, and logistics for 2026 season launch. Woo, it's exciting. All in favor? Opposed and carried. Thank you, Brianna.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, next, last but not least, we have the Nipigon Museum Strategic Plan for 2025-2030. This is a draft. This is not for our approval. It's just a first draft for input, I would imagine. So, does anyone have, you girls had input. I'm gonna call on you girls first, if that's okay.
Ladies.
Do you have the Okay, I'll start while they're finding it on the thing there. Does anyone have any input for the curator and the committee on the draft strategic plans? Nope.
How long can you keep a brook trout in an aquarium?
Oh, okay, sorry.
They live about 7 years, but they require a large tank and coolers. They, I know I looked at it years ago and the MNR used to have one.
Mhm.
And it was up at the Tourist Information Center and disappeared.
Hmm.
So
Were you
you
still
talk-
fish?
it didn't have the fish in it, but the tank with the cooling system, like, cause they can't live in a regular tank. You have to have a cooling system, so. But they're very,
Expensive, yeah.
it's expensive, but they're very, very nice. As long as they're kept clean.
Kate, did you girls have anything about the museum?
I had just an idea for like new artifacts, like people have like just things that were brought down from like family, like at Ducky's, he has like a Nippigan Monopoly game. Like if like just do a call out for people who have anything that would be interesting and then just have like a story behind it.
Nice.
Some people might have cool things
Yeah,
that are interesting and that have cool stories to them.
Terry has a bunch of stuff he's dug up.
out at your property. Kate, Counselor Dumont Saunders, what would you like to comment about?
I just think it would be nice to have the museum open, like more frequently, cause I personally have never been to the museum, kind of forgot about it. And I've lived here my whole life, so if it's like, just like more.
It's more accessible?
Yeah, more accessible and just like more advertised, I feel like it, like schools could go down there, like younger kids and stuff. And if you have like more frequent programs or like people coming in to speak and like teach about it.
Mhm.
Or teach things, and maybe you could start like a co-op with the high school there. Because I'm sure like students who would wanna go into like something historical or for a background.
Yeah.
Would like to do a co-op there.
Your co-op, yeah, high school co-op
That's a good idea.
program for them. Does anyone have any other?
You're wanting different, like, hours after, like later in the evening time, or what,
Just like during the day, make it more accessible and like. More. Interactive, I guess, like
Okay.
with more. You know, like little kids would just kind of go in there, they wanna touch stuff, you know, I have little brothers and they would like climb all over everything.
Oh.
So make it something like fun for them instead of just like looking at things.
The co-op would be during the day. It's
Yeah.
like it's during.
During school?
So it would be either the first, 2 periods of the day or the last 2. So between like 11:25 to 3. Or like 8:30. And if like.
Pretty good
Students wanna
idea.
start programs and like teach some like kids about it or like.
Yeah.
Have a little activity for people. Just like do that. History about the
You
town.
can volunteer there.
Yeah.
In schools, I guess.
How old is your brother?
I have a brother that's 9 and 8.
98.
Did you just say you think?
I don't know. 7th grade or 9 and 8.
I know.
I just assumed we did the co-op there, but I guess that's just summer students that are there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So-
Well, because there's, it's usually closed during
Yeah.
the year, but now that we
Yeah.
have sort of a full-time person that's.
Yeah.
Well, the intern that's there all the time, then it might be a possibility to do a high school co-op there.
Yeah.
To help with the digitizing and all that kind of stuff, right? I just had a couple of suggestions, and I didn't see it in here, but to maybe access some traveling exhibits. I don't know what the space is like for that, but I know at the Red Rock Interpretive Center, when it first opened years ago, they had a traveling exhibit and they had more space there, of course, but it was like an Ice Age traveling exhibit. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
Yeah,
They had like a
woolly mammoth.
woolly mammoth there and everything. It was really cool. We couldn't fit a woolly mammoth in our museum, but something like that, because I'm pretty sure there's stuff that travels across Canada and it can cost money, so it might be something we need to get some funding for or something, but I think that would be neat to get more excitement from the locals who have been there. Who want to see something different. Yeah. And also something to promote to people moving through, and I know I think they were talking a little bit about it here, was this auditory thing that really helps to have some speakers with some like babbling brooks and wildlife sounds and stuff like that. I'm wondering if we should institute I know we have entrance by donation, but if there could be like a suggested minimum donation or something like that, like $3 or something, some kind of a minimum suggested donation. Just with some of the cruise ship guests that we had experience with this summer, they didn't understand what, they're from Germany and didn't understand what a donation was, and they just thought it was for free. So, I don't know how many donations they made from that, but, what was the others? Traveling exhibits. Oh, I would like to see some KPIs, like some key performance indicators, like actual numbers that are measurable. So we can see all the good work that they're doing. So if we have numbers to compare from the last, I don't know, 5 years or something. And then see what the numbers are like starting, you know what I mean? So that we can see, well, it's great to have an intern and it's great to have like a part-time curator throughout the year, because then it's improving these, like, you know, let's say one of whatever their goals might be, like a 30% increase in local visitation, a 30% increase in traveling visitation, which are translated to whatever numbers from last year, I don't know, but it would be nice to have some actual goals to set with numbers. Yeah.
Good idea.
Anything else? Anyone? Okay, so we have a resolution to receive the first draft of the strategic plan. Who would like to move this? Counselor Westaver, seconded by Counselor Hart. So resolution 2025-244, moved by Counselor Westaver, seconded by Counselor Hart. Be it resolved that the council of the township of Nippigan receives the first draft of the Nippigan Historical Museum strategic plan for information. All in favor? Opposed and carried. Okay. We are gonna go into closed session, but I just, this is the time where we go around and, ask if anyone has any other business. So we'll start with the girls. Do you guys have any other comments about anything? No? Okay, Counselor Cartwright?
We have selected a new detachment commander. He will be starting, December or January, late December, or early January.
Oh,
Okay, and do you have a name or?
Jason, and I can't think of his last name right now.
Yeah, he's from away.
He's from, he's from down east, so really, I think around that area. So, he did flying colors on his exam and everything else, so we look forward to having him. So we don't have to borrow a commander
Yeah.
anymore. And he's excited to have his roots and, I think he's looking at a house in Red Rock, so Nippigan or Red Rock, he'll be living there.
Yeah.
Great, bringing his family.
Nice. Okay, Counselor Westaver, do you have anything?
Christmas party, we were kind of wondering about that 19th date. It was like, is it gonna leave it there or gonna move it?
We're gonna leave it there, because there was limited amount of availability at the Legion,
Oh,
so it's going to be, it's confirmed for the 19th.
Okay, so invitations will be going out.
Yep.
They haven't already. Okay, sounds good.
okay, that's it.
Counselor Hart, do you have anything? Counselor Harper?
No, I have not.
No? I'm just gonna really quickly, congratulate Debbie Rowley for her retirement. Her last day is Friday of this week. And she has, been the executive assistant and in other titles as well throughout, for 35 years.
Yeah.
So it's pretty incredible that, she's been through it all. She's
Yeah.
been there, seen it, done it. So, I just wanna congratulate, Debbie, thank her for her service and, congratulate her and wish her and Larry, they are moving down east, wishing them, all the best in their new adventures.
Still be back.
Think that's it, because I mentioned other things that I was going to not mention. Or that I was gonna mention here. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. All right, so we're gonna move into closed session. Who would like to move this resolution? Oh, Counselor Harper, he beat you to it, seconded by Counselor Hart. Resolution 2025-245, moved by Counselor Harper, seconded by Counselor Hart. Be it resolved that this council now move into closed session at 8:16 PM. Under section 239 of the Authority of the Municipal Act 2001 to discuss personal matters about an identifiable individual, including labor relations. Personal labor matters include relate to outgoing CAO clerk treasurer. All in favor? Opposed and carried. Opposed and carried. All right, so we're back from our closed session. And then we're going to have our authorization of our CAO to authorize as proceed as directed in our in-camera closed session. Who would like to move this? Counselor Hart, seconded by Counselor Harper. Resolution 2025-247, moved by Counselor Hart, seconded by Counselor Harper. Be it resolved that the Chief Administrative Officer is authorized to proceed as directed in the in-camera closed session. All in favor? Opposed and carried. Okay, and this is the bylaw that confirms the actions of all of our meetings held prior to this date. Who would like to move this? Come on, oh, Counselor Westaver, or sorry, Al Westaver first, seconded by Counselor Cartwright. Resolution 2025-247, moved by Counselor Westaver, seconded by Counselor Cartwright. Be it resolved that this council gives 3 readings and approves bylaw number 2007, being a bylaw to confirm the actions of the meetings held on and prior to October 21st, 2025. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. And who wants to close the meeting? Who would like to move this? Glenn, come on, you know you want to. Counselor Hart, seconded by
You know you want.
Counselor Cartwright. Resolution 2025-249, moved by Counselor Hart, seconded by Counselor Cartwright, that this meeting adjourns at 8:35 PM to meet on November 4th, 2025 for the next regular meeting or at the call of the mayor. All in favor? Opposed and carried. Okay, thank you, everybody.